We could see the smoke, the bombers had already come in, we could see the smoke on the town, we could see, it was just burning. I didn't hear any gunshots or anything until I got closer to the ground. Yeah, in the distance, here and there, I heard a bit of an AK-47 gunshot, but it didn't really worry me too much because it wasn't close to where I was. In my mind, the bombers had come in and totally destroyed the camp and the town, and we were basically safe. I mean, we might have a little bit of resistance here and there, and it was actually quite exciting at that point in time and such a tremendous sense of relief. And we had just got the LMG together when some terrorists came running over the mountain, running away from other guys in front of us who had obviously dispersed them with gunshots. And they didn't shoot at us, but as they came running over, we shot at them. And that was the first opportunity we had to see that the LMG was actually working.
Moving with the doctor, attending some of the guys that we found that was wounded, even some of the enemy that we wounded, they even wanted to try to treat them as well.
We were doing fire and movement as we were trained over the kopje, and we were going forward, and there was a lot of SWAPO terrorists, females dressed in uniform, men dressed in uniform.
There was a sniper, which was quite interesting. He was firing at us, and luckily he wasn't, I don't know if he hadn't qualified yet or what, but he was sitting in a tree. We couldn't pick him up at first, and every time you moved, a bullet would fly up about 2 or 3 foot behind your ankles. And one of our chaps jumped up, Labuskachny, I believe his name was, and he was a bit upset. He started moving around, and with that the sniper moved in the tree and we picked him up, and we all took aim at him, and that was the end of that.
And they kept on coming, and I showed Henry, and I showed him we must just hold our fire. The front guy, I'll never forget his face. He virtually crawled into my barrel. He looked up, I looked him in the eyes, he looked me in the eyes. His jaw just dropped with dismay, and he knew it was over. I took him out, the guy directly behind him, and Henry shot the other guys, 3 of them behind those 2. And from then on, it was a lot easier to get involved. They opened up on us from about 30 meters away. The first shot hit the sand behind my head, filled my collar with sand. The second shot hit my rifle, knocked it out my hand. I got one hell of a fright, but in my mind's eye, I could picture the third shot hitting me in the left temple. And they came on bravely, these guys. And they approached us in the attacking formation, and at Anton's command we fired as one man. And that whole section was taken out in 1 second.
A couple of civilians started to gather behind us, and we encouraged them to stay behind us, and when we went down under fire, we'd encourage them to go down as well behind us. So in that way we protected them. The civilians were more little youngsters and kids and that running around. All of a sudden, through our ranks came this huge big thud. Kuduf, kuduf, kuduf. My word, that was a frightening experience. That was an anti-aircraft gun now that had turned his sights on us. Eventually he pinned us down and we couldn't move. And he wasn't worried about anything. He knew we were in the vicinity there, and I don't know how many of them were in the bunker with him, but he was on the edge of a trench, and there was numerous trenches all around him. And what SWAPO had done, they had retreated into these trenches, and every time a SWAPO stuck his head out or pointed a rifle at us, he was history. Okay, so what they realized then was that they're going to get shot if they shoot at us. But when this guy opened up on us with this anti-aircraft gun, then they all started shooting simultaneously at us, and they then obviously thought that they had killed us. But in that slight lull, we would then take the opportunity to creep a little bit forward until a point when we couldn't go forward anymore because the bullets were coming just too close to us. And there was one particular very brave chap who actually, in amongst this fire, he actually climbed up a tree from the tree, he actually directed the smoke mortar bombs. We'd lie there would be absolute silence, no shooting, because now they thought we were dead. But because we were on the incline, a lot of the fire was going just over our heads. In fact, some of our guys were actually injured because a bullet would hit a rock, or and a guy next to me actually got a bullet through his knee. And he could have been taken out so easily, yet he stayed in the tree, and then he directed the next mortar closer, until eventually a mortar landed right on that bunker, and the guys took him out. The mortar guys took that bunker out.